end do I like?
Massive night in the SEC. Heather Dinich and Paul Finebaum here to bring the knowledge. Paul, after that dub, where do you have Bama in the SEC hierarchy?
They are number one, and I don't think, well, there's a couple of teams close, but to me, they have separated themselves on a day when there was so much confusion and conflict going on in the SEC. And a couple of plays like we have been watching, Tennessee in many different situations about to take the game back or at least get back into the game, safeties, all kinds of just crazy plays. And right here is where the game ended and really where Tennessee's season may have ended.
Oh.
Don't quote me on this, guys, but I agree with Paul, and I think the selection committee would too. After the games ended last night, I had Alabama number 3 overall and number 1 in the SEC ahead of Texas A&M because the selection committee is not afraid to put a one-loss team ahead of an undefeated team if they've earned it through the eye test and resume, and Alabama has done that, beating 4 straight ranked opponents, 2 on the road. When I woke up this morning and checked ESPN analytics, they're number 2 in strength of schedule, number 4 in strength of record, and number 7 in overall efficiency. This team is getting better every single week, guys.
Heather, let's stay right there with teams who are winning against ranked teams. Notre Dame gets their first win against a ranked team last night. Not all good news, though, in South Bend. Why?
Well, because they're in that really dangerous number 12 spot. That's where I put them last night. I think the committee would be really impressed with how they have played, particularly on defense in the past couple weeks. But remember, the 5 highest ranked conference champions are guaranteed spots in this field. And if the committee's 5th best champion is outside of their top 12, they're going to bump out that number 12 team. This week it would be South Florida, which continues to win. South Florida is undefeated in the American Conference, and they would get that 12th spot at the expense of Notre Dame. However, this is a good win, okay? Notre Dame fans should take a deep breath and be happy with where they are because they're playing much better football and they've got the selection committee's attention for sure.
There's no way I'm going to argue with Professor Heather on that point, but I think Heather made the best point at the very end. And this was not only a great win for Notre Dame, it was a season-saving win because they really don't have much of a resume now that other schools like Miami have lost. So they, in my mind, have to run the table, and this looked like the toughest opponent. It's a marquee matchup, one of the greatest rivalries in college football, so I think they'll get a lot of residual from this win.
Yeah, Notre Dame has no ranked opponents left in their remaining 5 games. So last night was the opportunity to get it done, get an impressive win, and they did just that. Paul, Heather, thanks so much.
Back here with Kenyon Barner and Richard Johnson here to break down winners and losers from Week 8. Since losing their season opener, Alabama's won 6 in a row, including 4 against ranked opponents. Kenyon, how'd they win this game against Tennessee on this night?
Physicality and eliminating explosive plays. They kept Tennessee's offense in check. They moved the ball exceptionally well up the field. As you said earlier, they didn't run the ball at a high rate, at a high clip, but they did enough to win this game, and it was impressive.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Alabama finished drives. Right, they go 4-4 in the red zone. Tennessee goes 2 of 5. In addition to, obviously, the play that you saw there when it goes back for the pick 6 at the end of the first half. I think at the end of the day, Alabama is the team to beat right now in the SEC. I think Alabama has gotten rid of that kind of post-Nick Saban hangover, and they're coming into their own as a program under Black Hoodie Kalen DeBoer. They've put that Florida State game behind them, and I think the Tide are absolutely rolling right now.
So they can no longer criticize his fashion, right? Like it's over. Like
no,
wear whatever you want.
As long as it's that black hoodie. It's whatever you want as long as it's the black hoodie.
Got to be the black hoodie. All right. Well, like Alabama, Notre Dame has responded since losing their first 2 games of the season to ranked opponents. The Fighting Irish have won 5 in a row, including their first ranked win of the season, taking down rival USC. Kenyon, we saw running back Jeremiah Love. He had himself a day. I mean, this game.
Not that I count or remember, but
you need to hold on to that.
Need to hold on to that.
That's special.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and what he did today was very special. Probably one of his, not probably his best day as a Notre Dame football player.
And Kenyon, it's not just Jeremiah Love, it's also Jadarian Price. You saw him return that kickback in the clip, something that you also know a little bit about. Kept you in the league for 10 years. Tell him about it.
Won a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Like Notre Dame right now, they're different than they were last year. I still don't think this defense is clicking on all cylinders. Kind of got bailed out with a couple turnovers here. It was bad weather tonight as well. They're just not the team that they were last year, dominant on defense, but they've sort of flipped the identity because they're getting what they need, especially from C.J. Carr at the controls at quarterback. Notre Dame has changed their identity a little bit, and it's still winning football. But I do think, and we were talking about this, they do have to win out if they're going to make a playoff. They got to win out.
Absolutely, yeah. They did give up 400 yards to USC, but Price and Love, that duo, 13th game when they both score a touchdown, most by a duo in Notre Dame history. It's always nice to have that two-headed monster. Vanderbilt becoming a monster, also responding in Week 8, coming off a loss to Alabama 2 weeks ago. The Commodores snap a 10-game losing streak to LSU, improving to 6 of it.
Right back to them. This Vanderbilt program is for real. And Diego Pavia, how many times can you remember a player like Diego Pavia coming in and changing the fortunes and the face of an entire college football program like Diego Pavia has done over the last couple of years? There just is nothing like it.
I want to stay right there. Pavia is a true competitor. He is a winner, and he's a guy that his teammates will run through a brick wall for him. When you have a guy like that at quarterback, we just seen the clip of him trying to jump over guys to get the first down. That excites everybody. It lights a fire up under everybody on that roster. And when you see that day in and day out, and I'm sure he's the same in practice, you can't help but go and give your best effort. So shout out to Pavia for going out, really, like you said, changing the way this team plays and the way everybody looks at this team.
They got playmakers, too.
Yes, they do.
They got playmakers around him at the skill positions. They're too deep at tight ends, not just Eli Sowers. And up front, they are physical, man. They are mean. It is a triumph of scouting on both of those lines of scrimmage. Our guy Barton Simmons, CBS Zone, formerly Barton Simmons, the general manager there, they have done tremendous talent evaluation.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to get guys in and develop them into that program.
Diego Pavia, 7th best odds to win the Heisman. You feel like that's about right, or should be higher?
Take that up.
Oh, so maybe you need to get your ticket now then.
Yeah, you got to,
because you're going to get some nice value at plus 2,000 for Mr. Diego Pavia.
Listen, I'm not too sure that there's anyone more important to their team than he is in college football right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, just because they really play like him. Yeah. They embody his energy and his swagger. And, you know, they talked about him like not sliding at all on the broadcast, right? He's taking a hit, he's dishing things out on his own end. You know, sometimes he's just running back there and doing something. It's kind of like a no, yes for Pavia. And then other times, like, he goes and like tries to hurdle a defender when he should just go out of bounds. Like, there's just things that he does that, as you're saying, Kenyon, just gets that team to play behind him.
He has the mentality of a linebacker.
Yeah.
When I watch him play,
yeah.
He looks like he's supposed to be on the defensive side of the ball with his aggression and the tenacity that he plays with, except he's at the quarterback spot. You don't really see that too often.
You know, I like to call people a grinder or a clocker, right? And I'm not just going around calling people grinders all the time, but Diego Pavia is a grinder. A clocker is just somebody who clocks in, clocks out, just kind of existing, right? They're just there. They're maybe on the team. They're on your workforce. They're not really putting it in. Or you got grinders. You got men and women who are in the trenches. They're trying to change things, right? They're trying to change the narrative, trying to change the culture. This kid has come in and done exactly that, Richard, and that's what's impressive about it.
Yeah, I mean, he puts a shift in every single Saturday. I mean, and he's not. They're not scared of anybody. It's not like Vanderbilt was favored in this game.
Yep.
Right? Let's not get it twisted about the Commodores. They're not scared of anybody. You know, Diego Pavia has talked about winning a national championship at Vanderbilt. I don't think Diego Pavia cares that you think it's crazy or that I think it's crazy. At the end of the day, the guys in that building, they're gunning for a national championship. And with the record that they've had right now, and after a win today, who's to tell them no? Who are you to tell them no?
Exactly. Building to this moment, Vandy's 6-1 start, their best 7-game start since 1950. Wow. All right, as for the teams who disappointed on Saturday, Texas Tech losing their first game of the season on the road against the reigning Big 12 champion Arizona State Sun Devils. Red Raiders didn't have their starting quarterback, Baron Morton, out with a leg injury, but Will Hammond did fill in nicely, did have a nice game. ASU, though, made more plays down the stretch. Kenyon, what went wrong for the Red Raiders in this one?
Well, I think it's exactly what you just said. Baron Morton not being there. And anytime you lose your starting quarterback, a defense can pin their ears back and they can take away what you would be expected to do, and that's run the ball. And that's something that Texas Tech could not do today. Anytime your quarterback is leading your room with 15 carries and the next back has 9, there's